Hey everybody, welcome to Getting From 8 to 9. Today I am speaking to Takisha Sturdivant-Drew, a celebrity stylist who graciously accepted my DM last year when I said, hey, do you take other clients besides celebrities? And she was like, yes, and I was ecstatic. So we're gonna kind of go over what you've been up to and how you got to celebrity stylist status, and just talk about kind of the business model and what your goals are in the next 5 to 10 years.
So I started, I'm telling my age, like 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. My mother is beautiful. She's 70 years old now, and she was always into beauty.
Okay.
So I, growing up, wanted to become a hairstylist.
Yeah.
I would always do my aunt's hair, my cousin's hair, anybody's hair I can get my hands on. And I went to Queens Vocational and Technical High School in Queens, Long Island City. And then straight out of high school, I started working in an upscale salon on 64th and Lexington, which was called Britannica and Associates.
Okay.
And I was the assistant to six different hairstylists, and within a year, I became a hairstylist myself. And I started working with another hairstylist who did celebrities. And this one particular day, my client, who's still my client today, Kathy, she's a manager, and she came in and said that Kerry Washington needed a hairstylist. So I went.
Was this before she was like super famous?
This was when it was like the short curly hair, Save the Last Dance.
Okay.
Like right after that. And yeah, she was new. And I went and did her hair, and I promote healthy hair.
Yeah.
So I spoke to her about protecting her hair. She should get a weave, and she trusted me, and I'm still with her 15 years later. Yeah. By being with her, I then got an agent, and then, everybody would see Kerry's hair, and that's how I started to build my clientele, celebrity base.
Right.
And then everything else was pretty much word of mouth. And then Instagram came. So that's right. Here we are today.
That's right. So you were in the salon, you were working, Kathy hooked you up
with Kerry.
And then you started, how long before you left that salon and kind of started your own thing? And did you start it here in your house, or?
I would like to say brownstone.
Brownstone, yeah. It is, and it's a beautiful, I so want that. I was looking at one around the corner on the couch right over.
So I was at Britannica and Associates for about 12, 13 years, a long time.
Wow, yeah.
And I just wanted more money. I would have never left.
Okay.
But then when she said no to more money, I was like, well, I need to branch out because I had a full-on client base.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Brooklyn, and I started working with Derek Scurry, who is he passed away, may he rest in peace, but he was amazing.
Okay.
My best friend, so talented. And he's the one where when I went to work with him, he was in a brownstone, and he was at the bottom.
Yeah.
And he had it set up as a studio.
Perfect.
So I said, well, if he can do this, I can do this.
Okay.
So I lived in a studio in Fort Greene, my husband and I at the time, and I said, we need to buy a brownstone. So we saved all our money, and we bought a brownstone. And I turned my garden floor into Takisha Studio.
Right.
And then I started TSD Hair Extensions.
Yes, when?
I started that almost 4 years ago. We launched. And I started my own hair extension line because I tried so many hair extensions and it was no good. So the quality of the hair wasn't good, but they would charge you a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. Just like if you go into an Asian beauty supply store, they charge you $100 for a pack of hair, which is synthetic fibers mixed in, which is not good.
Okay.
So I had to find a vendor that worked for me, which I found, and now I sell hair all around the world.
Right.
clients come from all around the world to buy wigs, to get their hair done by me, which I'm so thankful and blessed. And that's it. Now I'm working on my own shampoo, which should be out hopefully within 6 months. We're going through the whole process.
Love it. All right. Yeah, because I know that was one of my first questions when I came to you, because I knew you were promoting healthy hair. Was like, what do I put in my hair now, especially when I wear it curly, because there's, you know, part of the reason I straighten my hair a lot is it's all so much product to keep your curls intact, and because I'm anti-hair and don't know what I'm doing. So I'm glad you explained the whole weave thing, because I didn't know.
It's a good protective style.
Yeah.
I love a weave. It's a great way to grow your hair out and protect it.
Yeah.
Or if you like to wear a lot of color,
right,
you know, it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, she's been on me, guys, because she's like, if you want your hair to be healthy, stop coloring your hair, get a wig or something, and grow your hair back out. So we're working on that.
We're working on it.
Okay, so you build up your clientele and you have your brownstone, and now you're able to see people here, and then obviously you get called, you know, for, like, you just did the Met Gala, so tell us about that.
That was so intense. I mean, this is my maybe 5th or 6th year doing the Met Gala.
Yeah.
And I did 2 people last year, and this year I did 2 people, and the theme was camp.
Right?
So when you think of camp, or when I thought of camp, I thought of braids, I thought of beads, I thought, oh yeah, this is like, you know, a ponytail. Camp. That wasn't it. Camp meant that hair should be like not pretty.
Oh.
Hair should be like, you should be extravagant, like over the top.
Right.
And, you know, like make a lot of noise with your look. But that's their theme. That is their explanation of camp. Yes. And I did Liza Koshy, as well as I did Kerry Washington, and 2 different looks, 2 different girls,
right,
completely. One, Liza wore Balmain, and Kerry wore Tory Burke. So I had a great time. I mean, Kerry had like a short pixie wig from TSC Hair Extensions, and Liza wore a 28-inch ponytail with silver wire wrapped around it, down to her bottom.
Yeah.
So it was great.
And so how are the new celebrities like Liza getting in contact with you? Like, how is that business growing?
Well, people always think, you know, like I have an agent, and
right,
people always think, you know, everything goes through your agency, which it does when you tell your agents this is what you're doing. However, thank God to all the publicists out there who love me and spread the word around and send all their clients to me and say, you know what, you should use Takisha. They do the introduction,
right,
and I just have to keep them here.
So you're not relying on the agency to bring you clients. They could, certainly, but a lot of times it's because word of mouth, right? Like,
it's word of mouth.
That's how I built my business. I never did any forward advertising. It absolutely was satisfied customers who then told their friends, and then they came back.
And that's the best way, though, right? 100%, word of mouth.
100%. But you have the agency because
I don't like to negotiate. You know, they're good at that. I don't want to talk about money. I just want to see the money.
You just want to show up and
exactly,
be creative and do what you're a genius at, and not have to worry about the business side. Not that you don't worry about the business side, but letting somebody else negotiate for you it's amazing. It is.
And it's professional. The good thing about an agent is they will get you new faces, you know, and they do negotiate good rates. And it's always good for the client basically to talk to someone else and not you.
Sure.
So I think I love having an agent.
Because the clients aren't calling the agent directly. Their agent is talking to your agent.
Yeah.
And so 100%.
Yeah.
So the publicist, do you have a publicist too? Because again, I know nothing about any of this.
I don't have a publicist yet.
But
when my shampoo comes out,
okay,
I will, because I want to push my brand. My goal is to retire within, like, at least by 55. Have the money, have my products, bring in the money, the hair, have other people work for me so I can just sit down and relax.
So let's talk about that. In that grand vision, because this show is about scaling. What do you see? What would be your target scale of, you have a factory where you're making, you know, extensions, shampoo, other, you know, hair accessories, and you have people who are, you know, obviously making that stuff and then selling it, and you're running the business at the top. Is there something that scares you in terms of it getting too big?
No, not at all. I'm looking for a builder now.
Okay.
Like, I've been saving for God knows how long, and I was like, you know what? I'll dip into my savings now, because in the long run,
Right,
it will pay off.
100%.
So I'm looking for a building to transform into my own factory. So in the long run, my family's straight, and so am I.
Right. And I love this because you are, you know, certainly you're getting requested to go, and we'll talk about the shows that you were the hairdresser on, or stylist on, and how that works. But certainly, you know, for people that don't know, you have two twin boys.
I have twin boys. Yeah.
And you're about that life, and you want to be here and be a mom and be in New York with them. And so getting called to go somewhere for 6 months that would take you away from them is not doable.
No.
And so finding other ways to do that where you have residual income is absolutely, you know, the way to go. So tell us about the show you were on, and anything about how that kind of works.
Well, I just finished up actually American Son play.
Okay.
I was department head on that.
Okay.
And Kerry Washington. Yes, it was her show that was on Broadway that Netflix brought the rights to.
Yes.
And we shot right here in Brooklyn, which was amazing. And it was great. You know, I love to be on a set short term, not long term. So I can still be creative outside the box.
Right.
It's you know, it's great to be, I am union, by the way, and it's great to be in a union, but I just like to be creative, and I still want to have a life. So I'm happy that I have my celebrity clients, I have my studio, I have, you know, sets that I can work on, but I just like to be creative all around, because as you can see with Instagram, everything's changing.
Right.
You know?
And also being on a show, being tied to a TV show, you would be there.
It would stop me from doing it. And I would be there like 18, 20 hours.
So it would be the same as you traveling and not seeing your family.
Yeah.
Which isn't viable.
Well, I can also say I just finished up on Power. I was on Power for the past 3 years. And before that, I was on Elementary with Lucy Liu. I was her personal for 4 years.
Okay.
And then I got pregnant. And I did Are We There Yet? I was department head on there. Then we did We the Peoples, which was a movie. I lived in Connecticut for 2 months, which was actually nice.
Yeah, because you could take the kids then because they were little.
Yeah. And then I decided to take a break because I wanted to just be mommy. And then I got called for a tour, which was the Django tour. Remember Django, the movie?
Yeah.
So I did that and traveled all around the world.
Like press tour?
Press tour, okay. Which was really nice. It was really nice. Now that part I don't mind. But I did cry because it was my first time away from my kids.
Yeah.
And then I came back. So just finishing up Power, and then went to American Son. And now I am just enjoying like my time freelancing.
Yeah.
Just finished up the Met. We'll do the CFDA. That's coming up. That's a big award show here.
Right.
Upfronts is next week. I fly out to Chicago to do a Mercedes ad. So I'm, thank God, busy.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love the summertime in New York. So I'm going to enjoy the summer and then just keep working on my
your products, right?
That's it.
Which is fantastic. And I will say I bought tickets to American Son Play and then couldn't bring myself to go because I was like super emotional that weekend and I wanted to support it, but when it comes on Netflix I'll be crying in my room watching it. So what are your biggest kind of challenges right now in scaling from any perspective? You know, wife, mom, building the business. We talked a little bit earlier about your loyalty to, you know, the people that you work with and I don't know what you refer to them as, assistants or whatever, but your stylist family here, in your studio that you've literally been working with them for like 15 plus years,
yeah.
Which is crazy, but I love it.
You know, I'm very thankful for them because, which is Siobhan, I'm beyond thankful for her, and Steven.
Yeah.
And because it's hard to find good people that you can trust.
Yes.
You know, so many people reach out to me and say, you know, how do I get into the business? I want to be your assistant.
Right.
But then when I hire them, it's completely different. It's like, oh, I have to do that? Yeah. You have to sweep up. Yes.
Right.
You have to pass me the pins. Yes. You have to do this stuff. You're an assistant. But you have to start someplace to grow first. Mm-hmm. So I'm always thankful for my assistants, and I try to bring them everywhere with me as much as I can. So we're all working.
Right.
As long as I'm working, they'll be working.
Absolutely. And they get the exposure, and that's nice because, you know,
I'm loyal. One thing about me is I am loyal, and when I trust you, you know, I trust you because it's hard to trust in any business.
100%.
And to keep it growing and to keep it, you know, consistent, and you need that.
Yeah,
just
one of the things we were talking about earlier was like, you know, people acting like they're really for you, but they, you know, whether they're conscious of it or not, are not. And as you grow, they're sabotaging, or just their energy is not where it needs to be. And I've certainly been going through that a lot lately. And so
the more you grow, the less friends you will have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the truth. My husband told me that so many years ago, and I said, no.
Yeah, not your social self, right? You're like, no, I love everybody.
And the more I became successful, the less friends I have. And you know what? It's okay.
Right.
Because I know who my girls are, who I grew up with.
Sure.
Who, like 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And my friends now, which is fine. I don't need like 1,000 friends. I really don't.
Time.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But it won't stop me from becoming even more successful. It just makes me stronger and say, okay, just because you can't do it, because I tell everybody, you can do it.
Right.
From whatever set that I work on, because on set especially, they're used to working those amount of hours, but they don't freelance. So their life is on set.
Right.
And it's a different world when you freelance and you are on set.
Yeah.
So I say to everybody, you can do it. You just have to get out there and do it. You can't be mad because your life is a certain way and you can't travel, or you don't have the flexibility, or you have somebody to, basically, you have to say to this person, you have a boss.
Right.
Meaning.
Right.
And I'm my own boss, and I love being my own boss.
Yes.
So, you know, to each his own is what I say.
Absolutely. So when you, let me see how I can phrase this, because I get asked this a lot myself. Being a boss and being married, and you and I are in very similar kind of circumstances. So my husband is an educator, your husband's an educator.
Thank God he's an educator. Because Lord knows, I'm like, what is going on? What is that?
So having a spouse who has a more traditional job and seen it in a more stable, but is limited in what they can make. So I get asked this a lot, like, how does that work? You know, when have you guys had any kind of challenges around him supporting you? My husband we're just very supportive of each other. I feel like you guys are too.
My husband is my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
He's the one who's pushed me to do everything. I mean, that's why my brand is Takisha Sturdivant-Drew, because he's the brains behind it all. He's like, come out with this. Okay, so like now, right, work on your shampoo.
Right.
All right, now let's finish your flat iron. Like, it's all him.
Yeah.
It really is.
Love it.
It's just, he definitely supports me every step of the way.
Yeah, I always tell people, and my husband's like the better parent too, so my kids might be homeless if he wasn't there and dropped out of school. Okay, no, that's great, because I think
we don't have challenges. We actually, it's great.
Yeah,
he's a great father, which, you know, is hard for some other people, but he's amazing. He really is.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, there's no reason. I mean, I feel like men don't get asked that ever, but I know, you know, there's people in our audience who will wonder and where they have the exact opposite situation of somebody kind of not supporting them or questioning what they're doing, and you gotta get out of that. That's not a good. There's not.
Or someone holding you back. He's 100%. Always like, no, go.
Right.
I'm like, I have to go to LA, and it's a lot. Sometimes it's last minute. He's like, okay, yeah. He's like, I have the kids. Go ahead. Yeah. Like you're just go ahead.
This is like perfect. Okay.
And when I can bring my kids with me, I do.
Right. So is your husband off for the summer? Like, how does New York?
No, he works the summer.
Okay.
I always tell him to take off. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
Take off. I'd be off. He's like, no. But he's a hustler. Like, that's what he does. He has his other business. He's an entrepreneur as well. Okay. So we bought brownstones when we were young. So he manages the brownstones. So, I mean, now it's a different world. But yeah, he has his own business too. He's focused on his stuff as well.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. So when you get to a point where you got your, warehouse space and you have all your products and you're continuing to kind of build that, the kids are older, what do you see you spending most of your time on? Like when you can be super selective and like, Ruby, I'm not doing your hair anymore because you don't pay me enough or whatever. What is it that you would like to spend most of your time kind of doing?
I love hair.
Yeah.
So no matter what, I'll still do someone's hair.
Right.
Because I get bored, like I'm always educating myself, reading and doing something, making wigs. I knew nothing about wigs. Now I can just do it with my eyes closed.
Okay.
But something else new will come out. Something else new will be, the new situation. But I'll figure it out. But I'm not going to just sit and do anything.
Right. You don't want to be behind a desk doing that because you're a creative and you need to create. So, and having a team that can help you bring all these products to fruition where you come up with the idea and I like it.
I do. I love it. I can't wait. And my shampoo is really good because everyone's always saying and asking me, my hair's dry, especially natural hair is really dry. Yes. And we need this. What kind of shampoo can I get? What kind of shampoo? Well, now you can get TSD because it's going to be really good to help all of those problems that people are having.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. So, let's talk about social media real quick because you're way ahead of me. You got how many followers on Instagram?
Mine, I have a little bit compared to everybody else.
Whatever. I'm 600, so no. You're at, I don't know, 25?
Yeah, I'm at 26 now, but...
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot. To me, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And you are really good at, making sure you post when you're on these shoots and when you're doing people's hair, and that's... A lot of people aren't doing that.
No. I think that... Look, I do a lot of people's hair, but I don't post every single picture.
Yeah.
But I believe in content. And I do believe in telling a story. Yeah. And I like to tell a good story. So I take all my pictures and then I just turn it into a story. But very interesting because stories on Instagram now are really popular. They're more popular than posts.
Right.
So everyone's...
Oh, you wish I knew how
to do that. You have to do it. So everyone's looking at a story. They want to see what you're doing, but you put the right hashtags.
Right.
If someone else can look at your story that don't even follow you, which then can follow you. Mm-hmm. So, storytelling is really important. And just having a really nice... I like to have a clean page, and to each his own. Some people's page is really loud. Mm-hmm. I don't like mine to be loud, meaning all over the place.
Right.
I like it just to be consistent. So, but I love Instagram. I do like to get on and start talking on my phone and saying what I'm doing or, telling you
that's
about some hair.
That's how I found you, by the way. So
yeah. Oh, that's good.
I don't know if you're on any of the other, because I don't really, I'm on LinkedIn for business, but I don't really use
I am on LinkedIn.
Facebook and Twitter. But these days I find everything on Instagram, and I think it's only been a year since I've been on Instagram. But who posted something?
Was it Hannah?
I think I started following her from watching her on Gary Vee, and then I think she posted something, and then I DM'd you, and I was like, I'm coming too. Can you do my hair?
I love Hannah. She's really good too with stories.
No,
she's great.
Yeah, I mean, her following is killing, and her whole business model. I want to interview her too. So
I mean, she would be amazing.
Tell her.
I will.
Okay, I think that's a wrap.
Make sure you guys follow TSD Hair Extensions, which is my hair extension line, and me at Takisha Hair on Instagram, and tsdhair.com if you want some really good quality extensions and wigs.
Absolutely. I'm buying a wig today, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you.
And this is a wig that I'm wearing, by the way.
Okay, telling all the secrets.
Very natural.
I never know when she's wearing one or not. So.
I really don't mind telling my secret about a wig because it's all about it looking natural for me.
It does.
And you can't tell, right?
you really can't. All right. Thank you, Takisha. This was great.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I will see you next time on Getting From 8 to 9. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.